You want to get high, man?
Let's stimulate your mind.
Get up, Chucky!
What have we got here? A fucking comedian.
Rojan Kim.
Hello, and welcome to the Rojan Kimcast. It's me, Rojan Kim. Thanks for joining me on this beautiful June. Yeah, it's June 15th. June 15th. You know, I've kind of missed this one-on-one time. You know what I'm saying? And honestly, it's kind of weird because usually I'd be holding a mic and this wouldn't be on camera. So there's like this whole video thing, which, whatever, I guess I'll get used to. It's fine. Why not see my dumb face while you're at it? Why? If you like listening to my dumb voice, maybe you like seeing my dumb face. And that's great. That's content. That's content the world needs and the world deserves, especially now with everything going on in these unprecedented times. Isn't that, that's like what we're saying now? Like, these are the unprecedented times. All right. I had to actually move the computer screen from my face because then I just keep looking at my face instead of looking at you, you being the camera. Better to look and address the camera, the audience out there, than to just look at my dumb face, which I'm just, you know, I'm sick of. But then it's the person I'm making contact to. It's weird. It's a weird thing. Isn't it weird how everything is unprecedented, but at the same time, it's just like the pandemic of 1918 or 1992 or 1968 or 1929. You know what I mean? It's like, how is it unprecedented and like it at the same time? That's the old saying, right? They say like history doesn't repeat, it rhymes. Maybe that's where we're at now. We're in one of those couplets, like in a Shakespearean couplet, doublet, couplet, whatever. Yeah, you're just in a rhyming period. This is very similar to what happened under Obama. What am I talking about? What could I be talking about? I mean, what do we have here? We got the pandemic. Okay, we got a pandemic still going on. And we had protests, which kind of became riots, but are still now protests. The protests are going. They're going to continue to go like protests do, and then they'll just kind of not be part of the news cycle, just like everything else. And that's, you know, hey, it is what it is, right? That's just what it is. Though I do feel like, all right, here we are. Let's just trying to like put all this stuff together, you know. It's been a while since I've had just time by myself with you, of course, total strangers, to formulate everything that's kind of going on. Because, all right, so let's start with the pandemic. There was a pandemic. I mean, honestly, I think we just take this back to 2016, but let's not, right? I think we've actually all been under a delusion, a spell of sorts, since 2016. Scott Adams talks about this, how there's like a form of hypnosis that the nation undergoes during hypnosis, and then to break the spell, what you needed was the loser to come out and concede and say, okay, now we move forward as a nation, blah, blah, blah. That didn't happen. First time in history, that didn't happen. It's kind of like when you get into a fight and don't shake a hand. The people are still sore. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't squash things. It doesn't end it. Kind of like a woman. Remember when Ronda Rousey fought Miesha Tate and she hated her? Miesha Tate, even after Miesha Tate lost. Miesha Tate lost, okay? She lost. She came up to Ronda Rousey with her hand extended, and Ronda Rousey said no, right? And then they booed her. Boo, Ronda Rousey. Boo. You know why? Because that's a sore winner. You know what I'm saying? That's a sore winner. I mean, it's one thing if you lose, I guess you understand. You're like, she's sore. She's not gonna, yeah, whatever. But this, I mean, you know, it just leaves bad feelings. And I feel like that's why it's the cliche, the old cliche, you know, the old cliche of like, guys squash things, you know, guys fight. They fight once, squash things, and then it's fine. Whereas, you know, hell hath no fury like a woman scorned, right? And a woman's vengeance is best served cold, and it's very psychological. It's very just, and that's cliche. This is what I'm saying is cliche. And I'm not talking like literal men versus women. You know what I'm saying? Literal, like the actual man. I'm talking more like yin yang. I'm talking more about the yin yang man, right? Like Asian guy. I'm talking about the yin yang, right? White, black, light, dark, male, female. All those aspects are inside all of us, are expressed outside in the world. Okay? It's just what it is. It's just what it is. And I think the more I think about it, the more I feel like, God, it's just really cliche, huh? Trying to get away from these stereotypes, man. Can't, can't believe it. All right. So I feel like the 2016 election, we never kind of broke free of a spell we were put under, right? And then so it's been war, right? It's just been a kind of war ever since. But really, the war has been going on for a while. The culture war, it's the whole thing that's been going on. And I think this is just an outgrowth of a lot of politicking. Honestly, it's like weaponized culture, political, like to get elected, whatever, for political means, political ends, whatever those, gains are you get by riling up a bunch of people and saying like, this is it, man. This is what we're doing. It's a revolution. I don't know. I feel like those are people, that's usually a form of manipulation. You're like, oh, that's just a conspiracy. It's a conspiracy, man. You think everything is a manipulation? And it's like, no, I don't think everything is a manipulation. I think that there is a lot of evidence that people are used, like mass movements are used, right, to basically just like move people along in ways. And you're like, who's they and who's doing that? But it's like anybody who has an interest, anybody who has the means, anybody who has the resources, any group of individuals it could even be just one person who has a cause. You know what I mean? That can actually move a bunch of people to just start acting, doing stuff, and that's the thing. So before the pandemic happened, I was reading this book, and I'm still reading this book while the pandemic's going on, because who has time to read a book? I was reading this book called The Crowd. Hold on, The Crowd. It's called The Crowd, A Study of the Popular Mind, and Gustave Le Bon. It was written in 1895. Gustave Le Bon. And I was talking about this, and let me see. Get out the old Kindle here and see if I can read you a couple of choice. Here we go. Sorry. All right. If the individuals of a crowd confine themselves to putting in common the ordinary qualities of which each of them has a share, there would not merely result the striking of an average. Oops. Sorry, this is not. Oops. All right, here we go. Different causes determine the appearance of these characteristics peculiar to crowds and not possessed by isolated individuals. The first is that the individual forming part of a crowd acquires solely from numerical considerations a sentiment of invincible power, which allows him to yield in instincts which, had he been alone, he would perforce have kept under restraint. Right? So first of all, the point of the crowd is that you lose yourself in it, and so it gives you power. It gives you a sense of agency. The anonymity gives you a sense of agency. And I talked about how this relates to the crowd in a comedy context, right? Like that's why it's better if the crowd is dark. That's why if the comic doesn't see you and you don't, you know what I mean? That's why it works better that way in some ways. And then of course the crowd, the market, I was talking about that, in terms of mass psychology. And now of course, crowd, you can talk about it in terms of rioting, right? Or protesting, mass gatherings, right, are also crowds. We're looking at it right now. We're looking also how society as a whole moves as a crowd with fear-based information, such as a pandemic. It's basically been weird. Did I cause this? I don't know. Maybe it was me. I mean, you could put the pieces together right now. You could put this video together right now and say it was me. You don't even need to deep fake it. You have all my words. You have hours of about 1,000 hours. I don't know how many retarded hours of me talking there must be online. You take all those words, take my imagery, and now just have me say anything. I am for the genocide of babies. But you could use that. This is going to be this part, not this part. They're going to cut this part out, the part you just saw. They're going to use that against me. in singularity court when we're all uploading our brains, and it's to see if you have the right or wrong thoughts to join the singularity. And well, I'll see you guys there. Anyways, here we go. So this very fact that crowds possess in common ordinary qualities explains why they can never accomplish acts demanding a high degree of intelligence. Okay, so the fact that everybody is sort of subsumed, right? They've subsumed themselves means that the crowd itself can never be truly intelligent per se, because it's like a herd mentality, that doing herd stuff. And that makes sense when, you know, when the cops come, there's a protest, and they start fucking with people, things go violent. It's just gonna set something off. That's why you got an agent provocateur, right? Coming in, smashing windows, and then encouraging other people to do it. And then it's just like, you know what I mean, the spark that lights the tinder box, but then also happens to give the justification for the violence that the police need to crack down on all this looting and rioting going on. Anyways, do I need to keep this up? Do I need to keep reading you bits of this in order to fill time? No. The point is, okay, this book was written in 1895. It was before mass media, right? Before airplanes, before, you know, and a lot of it's antiquated, you know, because he's talking about race. A lot of he's like race is super important, guys. And the thing is, this was the height of colonialism, you know. So you got to take it with a grain of salt, especially French. French, I gotta tell you, listen, I went to Paris once. I was there for about a couple of weeks, and yes, it was beautiful. Yes, there's a lot of culture. Yes, was there good food? It was okay. The best food, honestly, was Algerian. You know, French food was all right, but Algerian food, mwah. Anyways. And I had the most fun in the bad areas, you know, the places where, I don't know, but I guess in a way those were kind of gentrified, the Algerian places and the places of people of color, which are basically colonized people who are colonized. Anyways, I was wandering around in Paris is beautiful, wandering around the Louvre, looking at the Louvre, and like, wow, this art, Mona Lisa's there, like all this fucking wonderful art, wonderful, there's gold everywhere. And I just realized, oh, Jesus, this is all jacked. They jacked all this. This is all, you know, what we call colonial. The beauty is really plunder, right? Which is, I guess, a weird justification a lot of people had for looting. It's like, we plundered the new world, so now we can plunder this Target. I don't know. I mean, hey, whatever. People are like tearing down Columbus statues, throwing them in the river, and at the same time thinking they're Columbus for fucking, you know, raiding a goddamn Best Buy. You know what I'm saying? So, God bless you. But, you know, honestly, I think with that stuff, it's just like the spark that set off a fire, right? And there's a lot of tinder, a lot of dry tinder. Why was the tinder so dry? You know why? Because nobody was using Tinder, okay? If everybody was allowed to use Tinder, there would have been no tinder box. You know what I'm saying? It wouldn't have caught on fire, okay? Like, it was an orgy-astic release, okay? It's like, I bet after that, people were fucking. Other people fucked after that, and people were still fucking going to this protest and fucking because they got cock-blocked, okay? They got cock-blocked by the government. Spring was coming. Spring, force of nature. You think you can stop spring? You can just stop it, nothing will happen? Yeah, you can't stop it, okay? And now the cat's out of the bag, genie's out of the bottle. And there should be a third one here if I was really good, okay? It's over. All right. Well, like, see, so this is the thing, is like, a pandemic's not over. Is the pandemic over? Was there one to begin with? It calls everything into question, right? Listen, I'm on record. Look, I believe this shit was coming. I saw it was coming out of China, spreading through Korea, spreading through Iran, spreading through Italy. People were getting fucked, okay? This thing was real. And I'm not saying it's not real. I guess what I'm saying is our government and media's response to it is completely bungled. And if anything, it's not that it isn't real. It's hard to like, because it's more real than WMDs. How about that? I mean, I'll get, you know what I mean? Like, I mean, WMDs weren't even real. That was just made up. That was just the wishful thinking. Like, this is real, but I think maybe the wishful thinking was the impact, was that there'd be bodies just let the bodies hit the floor, let the bodies hit the floor. They're kind of a ghoulish wanting of people dying, and like and just look at all these people dying, the New York Times putting out people die. And then, honestly, with the police brutality stuff, people killing, people on tape, especially Black people on camera, it's pretty ghoulishly kind of just like spread out as well. George Floyd, whole thing. Even Dave Chappelle doing his half-hour lecture. I mean, essentially it was a lecture. It was not a comedy special. It's not fair to call it, and he wouldn't call it a comedy special either. He'd call it basically just doing what I'm doing, except maybe he got paid. I don't know. The Obamas run Netflix. I have no idea what I'm saying. So I'm sorry. I do not want to kill myself. So those are only jokes. All the jokes, please don't listen to any of the jokes I have. If you find me dead, I did not. It wasn't me. It was Hillary Clinton personally. She personally put the noose around my neck. All right. I may or may not be around after this. So thank you for listening. Okay. So the pandemic, there was one, but it isn't what they said it was. Can we, also the other thing is the virus could have mutated. Also, the other thing is there are records of other pandemics happening where we didn't freak out and the outcome is like the same, okay? 100,000 deaths or whatever, it was like the same, okay? So what does that mean? We don't know. I mean, maybe it means we didn't need to shut down the economy. Maybe it means that it was politicized. I don't know. I mean, in a way, everything has been politicized. And so why not throw that in the meat grinder as well? Pandemic. Why not throw Black Lives Matter and race relations? Race, why not throw that into the meat grinder as well and see what happens? Just get people riled up, make sure, like, that's the crazy thing is like you got your centrist Democrats being like, fuck the system, make sure you vote. And it's like, what? These people, you think kids burning down fucking Flight Club are going to go vote for Biden? I think they're going to even vote? Like it's completely ridiculous. You have to admit. Completely ridiculous. And you can see what's happening is that the narratives are actually just kind of falling apart. They're kind of collapsing, right? You got the collapse of the pandemic narrative because at first, remember the crazy white people, the goofy white people with their AR-15s out in the city hall, and everybody made fun of them. They were like, oh, they're spreading COVID, and look at them just because they want a haircut, and blah, 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 which is a total misrepresentation of what's going on, right? Like those people wanted to open up their businesses, and whatever. And a lot of people are like, yeah, they just want Black and brown people to go to work. And be that as it may, that's actually good for the general economy, the health of the, because there is economic health. It's a real thing. All right. I know. It's like people's lives are more important. So like, yes, but are they? Are they? Because if they are, why do we have a military industrial complex? If they're so important, why do we make money off of making weapons that kill people? Huh? Like, I think it's because why is our healthcare system for profit based? Huh? Because money overrules lives. We don't care about lives, we care about money, right? You start losing money, then you start fucking changing, you start getting some change, right? People start fucking voting with their dollar. You could do more voting with your dollars than you could ever voting, right? Just go ahead and stop, just stop buying fucking, I don't know, whatever. Starbucks that's an old reference. I don't know, what are the kids buying? I don't know what they're buying. Fortnite loot boxes. I don't know what I'm saying. Just imagine, I'm just saying, everybody just decided to stop buying a thing, right? iPhones, just stop buying them. Just watch what would happen. Imagine if everybody was like, you know what? We're tired of the blue bubbles. We're tired of the blue-green divide. We want all bubbles to be green. All bubbles to be green. And Apple has a closed enough ecosystem where everybody voted with their dollars and was like, we're no longer going to buy an iPhone unless your bubbles are green because we stand in solidarity with our Android brothers and sisters. They would do it faster than you could defund the police, faster than any of the demands right now going around that probably won't all happen because politically it may or may not be viable. It's an election year. It's very difficult. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just wondering, like, what's next? We have a shooting maybe, or alien invasion. And we got to have something we got to politicize. We got to throw it through the machine. We got to throw it through the grinder because this shit isn't over. Instead of building a coalition, instead of building a platform, listening to the people, uh, listening to the people who actually voted for Trump, being like, all right, how do we get those motherfuckers? Because a lot of them were the same motherfuckers that voted for Obama. Like, how do we get them? Instead of doing any of that, we're here. So, whatever. Okay, that's what I say. Whatever. I think what we are looking at is crowd psychology, right? Crowd has been pushed, has been riled, being pushed this way, it's being pushed that way. There's a lack of leadership, and leadership is fractured, divided, decentralizing, which may be a good thing. I don't know. Buy Bitcoin. I don't buy it. The price has been plummeting. Please buy it. I don't know, man. You know, it's hard to know anything. I think anybody telling you now, especially that they know all the answers, like flat earther guys, anybody, hold them in suspicion. That's what I say. Because nobody knows. Nobody knows anything. Okay? We're not going to know anything. I mean, maybe ever. Honestly, just look at your life. I mean, one life, my life. By the end of my life, will I know everything? No, there's no way. Maybe the closest I'll get to knowing everything is accepting that I'll never know everything. And then I'll die. And that's the best any of us have. Okay? It's the best any of us have. So, I don't know. Why not enjoy it? Right? Because I feel like it's like depressing. It's depressing and kind of disappointing if you're all like, this is the way the world should be, and then it turns out not to be. You know, you're like, this is the way the world, blah, blah, blah. I mean, it doesn't mean you got to be like a boomer and just be like, yeah, nothing's, you know, and just kind of wreck the lives of others, right? It's yin yang shit, okay? It's fucking yin. Everything, isn't that annoying? It's annoying to me as an Asian guy that everything is the fucking yin yang. Like, it's a 3,000-year-old Chinese, I don't know, like a Chinese stoner came up with it 3,000 years ago and was like, whoa, bro, imagine if things were like, there's like light and dark, but inside the light is dark and inside the dark is light, and they're like swirling and they're like one, but different. It's like same, but different. You know what I mean? Like same, but different, which is actually a Rob Schneider bit. Rob Schneider, first Asian cast member of SNL. Nobody cares about because he's a Republican, okay? If he wasn't a Republican, they would have paraded his ass. You would know. You would call him Filipino Rob Schneider. Filipino comedian Rob Schneider, which, you know, he's basically the Jared Levin of yore, right? Remember my guest, Jared Levin, half Filipino, half Jewish guy, surfer extraordinaire. Dad is wanted by the feds. Look, that's what I'm saying. Anyways, guys, I think more than ever, it's like the more things change, the more things stay the same, you know? And I feel like everything's crazy. Everything is great. You know, it seems to be more in line. If you just go back to 9/11, the way we were treated after 9/11, everything was code red, code orange, right? Everything was a fear-based thing, fear-based metrics. Fear. Are we afraid? Yes, we are. Should we just do stuff because we're afraid? Yes, we should. Let's just do stuff. And then we did. And now we're still doing it 20 years later. 20 years later, we're still doing shit we did when we were afraid, and we knew while we were doing it, we shouldn't do, because that's what we did while we were afraid, and that's kind of fucked up. And all we're actually doing is creating more people who are afraid of us, and then in turn will do stuff to us to make us afraid of them. And this is just a cycle that will perpetuate and perpetuate, right? And here we go again. It's the fucking yin yang again, where it's like we are them. The people we bomb, that's us. We are bombing ourselves. We are attacking ourselves. When they attack us, that's them. They're attacking themselves. We attack ourselves. They attack themselves. We're attacking each other. All are one. It's all the goddamn yin yang. But why is it black and white? When the Asians invented the whole thing. All right, I'm sorry. If I had a soundproof studio, I'd be screaming. I would just all right. I don't know. I think that's good. That feels good. Glad I got that off my chest. Yin yang, crowd, psychology, mass psychology. It's all unraveling. So listen, California is in stage 3. The gym is opening up. I'm gonna go. Okay, I don't care. I'm gonna go because right now there will probably be the least amount of people that have ever been to the gym in my life. You could probably just get in, hit the squat rack, to have a schwitz, get out, be a normal person. Okay. There's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with it. Don't judge me. Don't judge me just because you're not having fun. All right. That's the whole thing. Just because you're not having fun and you're afraid doesn't mean you have to impose that on others. You commie. Is that what I keep pointing? Now that I don't see myself, I like to point at the camera and point at you, implicate you. You watching. All right. That's weird. I'm sorry. It's off-putting. Probably going to lose way more. Like once Rojan started engaging with the camera, he just lost all of his subscribers. He just lost them all. Nobody just everybody was like, no, thank you. No, thank you. Well, you know what? Thank you. I'm going to keep pointing at you. Thank you. Thank you. You and you and you and you. Those are all my subscribers. Thank you. Thank you so much for listening to the Rojan Kimcast. Follow me, on the social. I quit Facebook. I quit it. Okay. I quit it. I'm still on Instagram. So Facebook is Instagram. Finkel is Einhorn. Einhorn is Finkel. All right. That's an old reference. I'm old. How old are you? I'm turning 42 in a couple of weeks. I don't know. I've been telling people I'm 42 for a year now. So I don't even care. I don't care about getting old. Is that another, maybe that'll be the next podcast. We'll talk about just me. How about a deep dive? That's not what this has been about. I know I've had a lot of guests, but I just cannot stress enough to you, the audience, and them, my guests, how much this is not about you. Okay, this is about me. It's a Rojan Kimcast. Okay, I'm the narcissist and the sick person. All right, not you. Well, you are probably too. It's fine. We all are. You are me, and I am you. Yin yang. All right. Thank you again for listening. Follow me on Instagram. Follow me on Twitter. Follow me on YouTube. You can find this on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify, everywhere, all the platforms. Follow me. Give me ad money. I don't care. All right.